India versus England, the fourth test match. Zimbabwe Tri-Series. West Indies versus Australia in their T20 series. Welcome to Cricket Musings 173. Another interesting week in the world of cricket, so let's get straight into it. So plenty of runs were scored at Old Trafford, with the Indians batting out the final day for what could be a series-turning draw. They say that draws are sometimes just as good as wins, and I think in this case they are 100% correct. India certainly has the momentum now going into the final test, and hopefully the weather stays good and the pitch serves up plenty of runs and plenty of wickets for that test match. KL Rahul and Shubman Gill have certainly shown their class in this series, and their partnership was crucial in taking the match away from the English in the third innings. Shubman Gill going in, I think it was none for two, and they put on close to 200, wasn't it? Maybe even over 200 for that third wicket to wrestle the momentum back from the England side. I actually heard an interesting statistic today that every first-class game at Old Trafford this year has ended in a draw. I find that very interesting. I wonder if that has to do with the pitch or the weather or both. Judging about what I've heard about the summer of 2025 in the UK, is probably the pitch. Hopefully the summer's is good in 2026, as New Zealand playing England in June next year. The first test match is at the Lords, followed by the Oval, and then the third test match is at Trent Bridge. So see you there, hopefully. New Zealand was unbeaten in the Zimbabwe Tri-Series, winning the final against the Proteas. I woke up, I was fast asleep, and woke up to watch the final over in a bit. And South Africa certainly did the C word. I think they needed 8 runs off 8 balls with 6 wickets in hand and lost. The interesting thing about those final 8 balls of the game was Matt Henry, Daryl Mitchell and Michael Bracewell were the ones that were in the thick of the action. These guys are all experienced cricketers. They've all seen it before. I think it shows you don't need to bring a guy into the international spotlight before they're ready. Daryl Mitchell played his first test match when he was 28 years old and had been playing first-class cricket for 7 or 8 seasons before that. Matt Henry was a bit younger when he played his first test match, but had still been playing for 5 seasons, I think, before playing his debut test. And Michael Bracewell was in his 30s before he played his first test match, and had more than a decade of first-class cricket behind him. It just goes to show that experience is key in international cricket. A lot of the older players in New Zealand are still playing to a high level, and this brings the younger guys along too, helps them with their development. So I think that the older guys in New Zealand first-class cricket, like I can think of Tom Bruce, for example, they're very, very important in the whole structure of things in New Zealand. The Australians are bossing their T20 series in the West Indies. I think it's currently 4-0, the 5-match series. You might know that I'm not a great fan of the shortest format, but it does have its place. And some of the hitting I saw in the games on the island of St. Kitts was absolutely amazing. They were going out of the ground. It was just like, oh, that's 6. You could see it off the bat. One of the interesting statistics, I think it was the game yesterday, was West Indies got 205 and the highest score was 31. I asked a question on Twitter if that was the highest score in T20 cricket where the team has scored over 200, and apparently it is. I'm not sure if that would be a revered record in the world of cricket, but there you go. Finally, on Cricket Musings 173 this week, should Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja have shook hands? with 15 overs to go in the match. What do you think? I think no, they have the right to carry on. But to me, to call the game off as soon as they got the tons was strange. They wanted to bat the final 15 overs. So why didn't they bat the final 15 overs? I thought they were there to bat the final 15 overs. To me, it sounded a bit like an under-9 game. We'll give everyone a go. Even if we scored more runs than the opposition, we'd beaten them in opposition, we'll bat the full overs to give everyone a go. So the opposition get 50 and we get 150 chasing. Yeah. So why didn't they bat the full 15 overs? I'm going to ask that. Yeah, good on them. More entertainment for the people at the ground and the people watching on TV. So bat the full 15 overs. Don't just get your century and call it off. To me, that's a bit strange. I wonder if after this the rules will change with the final 15 overs. I'll be interested to see. See you next week.